Have you ever wondered if plastic surgery really unlocks eternal beauty? Or if it's just a pricey illusion? Step inside the dazzling yet dangerous world of celebrities who've gone under the knife, from subtle eye lifts to dramatic facelifts and risky neck lifts. For some, the results were breathtaking. For others, the complications were shocking. When chasing perfection turns into a gamble, these stars were bold enough to test the limits. Want to know the truth behind the glamour and the hidden risks that come with it? Stay tuned because you won't want to miss what's next. Adele, one of the world's most powerful voices, returned after years away from the spotlight, and the reaction was anything but quiet. In 2020, she stunned fans with a jaw-dropping transformation, revealing she had lost over 100 pounds. But her comeback wasn't just about a slimmer frame. It was about survival, resilience, and reclaiming herself. Through weight training and self-care, Adele built not only a new image, radiant, youthful, and full of energy, but also a new chapter of her life. Her return carried an emotional weight that went far beyond appearance. Even as her long-awaited album was delayed and the pandemic cast its shadow, Adele reminded the world of her brilliance with an unforgettable Saturday Night Live performance. Yet, behind the applause and headlines, there lingered a quieter truth. Her transformation wasn't only physical, it echoed a private battle, one marked by pain, struggle, and healing. A journey that only Adele fully understands. Nicki Minaj's journey is the definition of transformation, from a young girl with humble beginnings to a global icon of unapologetic excess. Her career has been built on bold lyrics, flamboyant style, and a larger-than-life persona that redefined what it means to be a superstar. For more than a decade, she's ruled the music industry, cementing her place among its brightest and most influential stars. But behind the neon lights and diamond-studded glamour lies a very different story. Before fame consumed her world, Nicki lived simply, far removed from the spectacle she embodies today. Now, at 42, she stands not just as a legendary rapper but also as a mother, balancing the spotlight with the quiet joys of raising her son with Kenneth Petty. In a rare moment of vulnerability, Nicki recently revealed that HBO Max will release a documentary about her life, an intimate portrait that strips away the glitter to expose the raw price of fame and the emotions hidden beneath the surface. Yet, even with all her success, accolades, and undeniable impact, one haunting question lingers. Can fame ever allow someone to live as their authentic self? Or does it slowly strip away the very values that once defined them? Wayne Newton's rise to stardom began in the 1960s, when his debut album set the stage for what would become a legendary career. Before long, his name was forever tied to Las Vegas, earning him glittering titles like Mr. Las Vegas and the Midnight Idol. Night after night, he ruled the stage, captivating audiences with a charisma and timeless appeal that made him one of the most iconic entertainers of his generation. Even though his live appearances have slowed in recent years, classics like Danny Boy and Daddy, Don't You Walk So Fast continue to echo through time, winning over new generations while reminding longtime fans of his golden era. For those who saw him in his prime, the passage of time feels bittersweet as Newton now faces the realities of aging. Still, as Fabiosa reports, he refuses to let time steal the spotlight, working tirelessly to soften its marks and preserve the magic he's carried for decades. Through it all, one truth remains unshaken: Wayne Newton's talent still shines. To his fans, he will always be Mr. Las Vegas, a living legend whose voice and presence will never fade, no matter how many years pass. Justin Jedlica, famously dubbed the real-life Ken doll, didn't just chase perfection, he carved it, one surgery at a time. At only 18 years old, he began a transformation that would make headlines across the world. More than 700 procedures later, including rhinoplasty, cheek and jaw implants, and even full-body modifications, Justin had reshaped himself into the ultimate Ken look. But this was never just about appearances. His journey thrust him into the spotlight, igniting media fascination and controversy in equal measure. From reality shows like Botched and My Strange Addiction, to endless tabloid debates, Jedlica became both a symbol of beauty obsession and a lightning rod for criticism. To some, he's an artist of reinvention, pushing human limits in pursuit of an ideal. To others, his story reflects deeper battles hidden beneath the polished surface. Behind the cameras and the fame lies a truth harder to sculpt. A life of glamour shadowed by sacrifice, scrutiny, and the high cost of chasing perfection. Tori Spelling, forever linked to her breakout role on Beverly Hills 90210, has lived much of her life under the harsh glare of Hollywood's spotlight. Her appearance has long been a subject of speculation and controversy, with plastic surgery at the center of the conversation. Spelling has openly admitted to getting breast implants, a choice she later regretted after facing serious health complications, including difficulties with breastfeeding. Her honesty, rare in an industry built on illusion, has inspired others to think twice before going under the knife. But while she's been candid about certain procedures, the whispers never stop. Critics point to her nose, her lips, the subtle shifts in her face over the years. Spelling herself insists that many of these changes are nothing more than the natural results of aging and weight fluctuations. Yet despite the relentless media scrutiny, she continues to push a message of self-acceptance, urging women to embrace their flaws and find strength from within. Still, there's an undeniable irony in her story. In chasing the idea of physical perfection, Spelling became trapped in the very cycle of judgment she sought to escape, a living reminder of Hollywood's unforgiving standards of beauty. Macaulay Culkin's childhood stardom, fueled by his unforgettable role in Home Alone, was both a blessing and a burden. He charmed audiences again in Richie Rich, The Pagemaster, and My Girl, but behind the smiles was a boy struggling with the weight of fame. By 1994, the pressure had become too much, and Culkin made the bold choice to step away, searching for peace in anonymity. When he returned in 2000, the innocent face the world once knew had changed. He reinvented himself, from taking the stage in London's Madame Melville to shocking fans with his rebellious comedy rock band, The Pizza Underground. Years later, he pushed his evolution even further with a haunting performance in American Horror Stories Season 10, a role that stood in stark contrast to the boy who once booby-trapped his house on Christmas Eve. Culkin's journey reveals the brutal reality of child stardom, but more importantly, it showcases his resilience. He proved that reinvention isn't weakness, it's courage. It's the freedom to grow beyond the image the world tried to lock him into. If you enjoyed this story, drop a 1 in the comments. If not, let me know with a 0, your feedback means the world. Melanie Griffith's star began to rise in the 1970s, and before long she had become a beloved global icon. But now, at 67, she's speaking candidly about the cost of chasing perfection. In her pursuit of beauty, plastic surgery led her down a path of irreversible choices. She admits it wasn't until she saw the shock on people's faces that she realized how far things had gone. According to Us Weekly, Griffith sought out new medical advice in hopes of restoring a more natural look. Yet time and the damage already done made the climb back even harder. Still, Melanie shines with the same grace and beauty that once captivated audiences around the world. But behind that enduring charm lingers a quiet sadness, the price paid for a dream of eternal youth. Her story is a haunting reminder that some transformations can never be undone, and some decisions carry consequences that last a lifetime. Igor Bogdanoff wasn't just a TV presenter and scientist, he was a spectacle. Alongside his twin brother Grichka, Igor transformed himself through a series of extreme plastic surgeries that would make him one of the most talked about figures in France. Over the years, facelifts, rhinoplasty, lip fillers, and cheek implants carved his face into something almost unrecognizable. The result? A look so striking, so surreal, that it seemed more alien than human. His sharp, swollen features and oddly youthful appearance fascinated the public, sparking endless debate. Some admired his boldness, others mocked him, comparing his face to a doll, or even a visitor from another world. But the obsession with Igor's appearance began to eclipse his real achievements. His contributions to science, his presence on television, his once respected intellect. Instead of being remembered for his work in physics, Igor became the subject of tabloid headlines and internet memes. And yet, despite the ridicule, his transformation kept him in the spotlight. People couldn't look away. Every appearance stirred new curiosity, new speculation about vanity, about identity, and about the heavy psychological price of such drastic reinvention. Courtney Love burst onto the scene in the 1990s as the fiery frontwoman of Hole, carving her name into grunge history. But as much as her music made waves, it was her stormy, all-consuming relationship with Nirvana's Kurt Cobain that cemented her place in pop culture. After Cobain's tragic death, though, the spotlight dimmed. The woman who once defined rebellion seemed to slip away, her iconic presence fading into the shadows. Yet Courtney Love was never one to stay silent for long. In recent years, she staged a dramatic return, drawing headlines and sparking conversations once again. She's been candid, telling outlets like the Daily Mail about her anti-aging treatments, even admitting to rhinoplasty. Time may have left its mark, but she's held onto a magnetic edge that still captivates. Over 1 million loyal fans on Instagram follow her every post, celebrating both her beauty and her defiance. But beneath the comeback lies a haunting truth: the brilliance of her glory days has softened. Love's story now stands as both a tribute to her resilience and a stark reminder of how fragile fame can be, and how quickly time rewrites even the boldest legends. Jocelyn Wildenstein, once the dazzling queen of high society, has become almost unrecognizable, a haunting echo of the woman she used to be. Years of extreme plastic surgery have transformed her face so radically that it's difficult to connect her current appearance with the glamorous socialite who once turned heads at every party. What began as an attempt to preserve beauty has instead turned Jocelyn into one of Hollywood's most controversial cautionary tales, a reminder of the devastating cost of chasing perfection. Though the exact number of procedures remains a mystery, Jocelyn has fiercely denied the extent of her transformations, even when the evidence was impossible to ignore. For years, she lived in a gilded world of wealth and luxury, married to billionaire art dealer Alec Wildenstein. But after their bitter divorce in 1999, everything unraveled. The enormous settlement could not shield her from financial ruin, and her relentless pursuit of beauty only fueled her downfall. By 2018, she was bankrupt. Then, in 2022, Jocelyn resurfaced in the spotlight alongside makeup artist Alexa Stone. But instead of a glamorous comeback, the moment played out as a tragic spectacle, a painful reminder of a woman who tried to defy time only to be consumed by it. Jocelyn's story is not just about beauty and surgery, it's about the dangerous seduction of vanity and how even the brightest stars can fade when they refuse to let go of yesterday. Britney Spears, the pop phenomenon who gave us hits like Baby One More Time and Toxic, has never shied away from being real about her beauty journey. In a world where perfection is practically demanded, every tweak in her appearance has fueled endless speculation. Britney herself has admitted to small enhancements, lip injections, Botox, fillers, while rumors of a nose job continue to swirl without confirmation. But according to her, the real secret lies in skincare, exercise, and a balanced lifestyle. Her evolving look isn't just about vanity, it reflects the crushing weight of celebrity culture, where every wrinkle or change is dissected under a microscope. Yet what makes Britney stand out is her honesty. She shows fans that beauty isn't a final destination but an ongoing journey, filled with choices, pressures, and personal truths. Even with all her glamour, Britney remains under constant judgment, a living reminder of how Hollywood can lift someone to dazzling heights while threatening to break them at the same time. John Travolta, the man who danced his way into history with Welcome Back, Cotter, Grease, and Saturday Night Fever, wasn't just known for his talent, he was also admired for that signature mane of thick, flowing hair. For decades, it was part of his charm, almost as iconic as his moves on the dance floor. But time has a way of changing even Hollywood legends. His once famous locks began to fade, no longer carrying the same symbolic weight. And yet, instead of dimming his appeal, it seemed to make him even more magnetic. In his early 60s, Travolta shocked the world by shaving his head, a bold transformation that fans embraced with open arms. It wasn't just a style choice. It was a declaration of confidence, maturity, and authenticity. But behind that fearless new look lay heartbreak. In 2020, the devastating loss of his beloved wife, Kelly Preston, left him shattered, facing a loneliness few could ever imagine. Still, Travolta's resilience is what continues to inspire. His hair may be gone, but his strength, his charisma, and his status as one of Hollywood's true icons remain untouched. To his fans, he is more than a star. He's a survivor, a reminder that real power comes not from appearance, but from enduring spirit. Kristian Alfonso's story is one of beauty, resilience, and reinvention. Long before she became beloved as Hope Williams on Days of Our Lives, she was a young figure skater with Olympic-sized dreams. But at just 13 years old, a devastating skiing accident shattered her future on the ice. What could have been the end of her story became the beginning of a new one. Rising from heartbreak, Kristian transformed herself into a model, gracing more than 30 magazine covers before she was even 15. Now at 62, she still radiates the kind of timeless beauty that no wrinkle can erase. A beauty built not just on looks, but on strength, perseverance, and the grace to overcome life's setbacks. Her career has carried her far beyond soap opera stardom, with recent appearances in Chronicle Mysteries and the 2021 TV movie All the Glitters reminding fans of her enduring presence on screen. Off-screen, Kristian is a devoted mother of three, two with her husband Danny Dagenhurst and one from her earlier marriage to Simon Macaulay. Yet, even as she continues to shine, there lingers a quiet sadness in her reflections on fame. Once seen as invincible, she now reminds us that beauty, success, and recognition are fleeting. But through it all, Kristian Alfonso remains a living testament to resilience, a woman who turned tragedy into triumph, and who continues to inspire with her strength, elegance, and unshakable spirit. Russell Crowe, once the embodiment of strength, discipline, and rugged charm, has undergone a transformation that stunned fans and critics alike. The chiseled gladiator who once dominated the screen now carries the weight of time in ways no costume can fully conceal. In the loudest voice, sharp suits tried to disguise the change, while in Boy Erased 2018, a heavy beard nearly rendered him unrecognizable. For years, audiences whispered, "What happened to the warrior we knew?" That question was answered with brutal clarity in Unhinged 2020, where Crowe's altered physique was on full display. Yet what many first saw as a simple physical shift carries a far deeper, more haunting truth. His evolution is not merely about aging or appearance. It is a stark, sobering reminder that even Hollywood's strongest heroes are powerless against the relentless march of time. Crowe's image today tells a tragic, universal story that youth fades, strength wanes, and none of us can escape the quiet erosion that life demands. Leonardo DiCaprio has been in the public eye since his earliest days, first appearing as a child in Romper Room back in 1979. Over the decades, he has transformed from a fresh-faced newcomer into one of Hollywood's most respected and versatile actors. From his tragic turn as Jack in Titanic to his layered, aging star Rick Dalton in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, DiCaprio has consistently proven his brilliance on screen. Now, at 50, his performances still command attention, yet a quiet shadow lingers behind the success. Time has left its mark. The once-eternal golden boy of Hollywood is now a man facing the sobering reality of a career that may have fewer chapters ahead than behind. The question looms, how many more roles remain for an actor whose artistry once felt limitless? DiCaprio's glow hasn't disappeared, but it flickers differently now, less as a blazing fire, more as a steady flame fighting to outlast the constant hunger of an industry that never stops chasing the next new face. Kesha's journey into motherhood is nothing short of inspiring, a story of transformation, resilience, and timeless grace. After welcoming her two children in 1999 and 2001, her body naturally changed, most noticeably with weight gain. Yet none of that dimmed her glow or her undeniable charisma. Kesha has always embodied the essence of natural beauty, reminding the world that true allure isn't about size or shape, it's about confidence, strength, and perseverance. In 2001, she married Pierce Brown, and together they built a love that has stood strong through the years. But perhaps Kesha's greatest triumph came when she shed nearly 100 pounds after childbirth, making a breathtaking comeback at the 2020 Golden Globes. Draped in a stunning red gown, she wasn't just showing off her new figure, she was radiating a rebirth of elegance, power, and inner strength. That moment was more than fashion. It was a testament to resilience, a symbol of maturity, and proof that beauty only deepens with time. Dolly Parton isn't just a country music legend, she's a living symbol of self-expression. For decades, she's been refreshingly open and downright hilarious about her cosmetic journey. With her bold personality and unshakable confidence, Dolly has reshaped the very idea of beauty and perfection. She's never shied away from the truth, openly admitting to facelifts, Botox, and breast augmentation. But for Dolly, it's never just been about appearances. It's about owning her image on her terms. She often quips, "It takes a lot of money to look this cheap," a line that perfectly captures her wit and her lighthearted approach to change. Every procedure, in her eyes, is an act of empowerment, not a response to anyone else's expectations. She beautifies herself to keep alive that larger-than-life Dolly Parton persona the world has come to adore. And in doing so, she's cracked open conversations about cosmetic choices, inspiring others to embrace their own definitions of beauty. By being transparent and unapologetic, Dolly has turned personal choices into a public statement. Beauty is what you decide it is. Jessica Simpson's story isn't just about celebrity, it's about survival, resilience, and the relentless pressure of living in the spotlight. After welcoming her third child in 2019, she found herself facing one of the toughest battles of her life, her struggle with weight and self-image. At her heaviest, she reached nearly 240 pounds, and with every headline, every camera flash, the world seemed to be watching and judging. But Simpson refused to be defined by that moment. With sheer determination, she shed a staggering amount of weight in just 6 months, proving that her strength went far beyond the scale. Her transformation wasn't only physical, it was an emotional rebirth, a testament to her willpower and perseverance. She laid her truth bare in her 2020 memoir, Open Book, which soared to the top of the New York Times bestseller list, resonating with millions who saw themselves in her struggle. Yet behind the applause and magazine covers was the part of the story few truly understood, the emotional toll, the sleepless nights, and the internal battles that couldn't be captured in before and after photos. Simpson's journey wasn't just about losing weight. It was about reclaiming herself. Donatella Versace isn't just a name in fashion, she's a force of nature. At 69, she still reigns as the creative director of the house her brother built, proving that resilience and vision can outlast even the fiercest trends. Time may have reshaped her face, but it hasn't dimmed her presence. Donatella commands attention the moment she walks into a room, her signature look becoming as iconic as the Versace brand itself. Yes, she's embraced cosmetic enhancements, Botox, and more, but those choices don't erase her allure, her influence, or her undeniable talent. With over 5.7 million loyal Instagram followers, Donatella stands as both a style icon and a role model for strength in reinvention. Behind the glamour is a woman who has weathered heartbreak, loss, and the constant scrutiny of fame. And yet, she never faltered. Her journey is one of survival and power. In an industry that worships youth and devours its own, Donatella Versace has done more than endure, she has thrived. She is the embodiment of adaptation, defiance, and fierce femininity, a reminder that true icons are timeless. Cher, the legendary singer and actress, has never been just a star, she's a symbol of fearless self-expression. With her timeless beauty and ever-evolving style, Cher has spoken openly about her journey with plastic surgery, not as a surrender to Hollywood's pressures, but as a declaration of her own power. From facelifts to rhinoplasty to Botox, each choice wasn't about chasing perfection, but about owning her reflection. What truly sets Cher apart is her candor. She's never hidden the fact that her decisions were made for herself, not the critics. Her famous remark, "If I want to put my boobs on my back, it's nobody's business but mine," isn't just a quip, it's a manifesto of independence. Cher's evolution tells a larger story, one of resilience, reinvention, and the courage to define beauty on her own terms. Her journey continues to inspire countless others to embrace their own truths, reminding us that real empowerment comes from living unapologetically, even under the relentless spotlight of fame. Mickey Rooney, a name etched forever in the history of cinema, was more than just an actor. He was a survivor, a fighter, and a master of reinvention. What many don't realize is that before he became one of Hollywood's most versatile stars, Rooney also stepped into the boxing ring. Those brutal matches left him with broken bones and battered features, injuries that later forced him into a series of plastic surgeries. The fresh-faced charm that once lit up the screen gradually faded, especially after his haunting role in Angel Heart. Time, injuries, and age reshaped his face in ways no one could ignore. Yet, none of that dimmed his brilliance. While the youthful glow was gone, his career continued to thrive, proving that talent burns brighter than appearances. What makes Rooney's story remarkable isn't the change in his looks, it's the unshakable spirit behind them. Through every setback, he kept moving forward, fueled by resilience and a relentless dedication to his craft. That quiet strength, the refusal to let circumstance define him, is what truly cements his legacy. Joel Osment was just 11 years old when he delivered that unforgettable line, "I see dead people," in The Sixth Sense, 1999. His haunting performance didn't just chill audiences, it etched him into Hollywood history and earned him an Oscar nomination. But while the film marked the peak of his childhood stardom, the years that followed were anything but easy. Growing up in the public eye came with a price. As The Guardian once noted, Osment grew a beard, an almost symbolic shield, to distance himself from the forever young image fans still held on to. In an industry obsessed with youth, his natural aging became a quiet battle of its own. Yet Osment never bowed out. Instead, he reinvented himself. From voicing Sora in the legendary Kingdom Hearts franchise to stepping into quirky roles in Future Man and Teachers in 2017, he proved he was more than just the kid from The Sixth Sense. Still, there's an undeniable bittersweetness to his journey, a child prodigy who grew up fighting not just Hollywood's demands, but the shadow of his own iconic past. Mickey Rourke, once one of Hollywood's brightest stars of the 1980s, has lived one of the most dramatic transformations in modern cinema history. After stepping away from acting to chase his dream of becoming a professional boxer, Rourke endured brutal injuries, many to his face, that left him in need of extensive reconstructive surgery. What was meant to repair the damage, however, ended up reshaping his appearance in ways that shocked fans, fueled controversy, and forever altered the way the world saw him. Rourke has never hidden the truth. He's openly admitted to multiple nose surgeries, cheek implants, and other procedures, some out of medical necessity, others in the pursuit of youth. In rare candid interviews, he confessed to deep regret, especially over operations performed by a surgeon who, in his words, wrecked his face beyond repair. The fight against time, the pressure to remain youthful in a business obsessed with beauty, only pushed him further down that road. Yet Rourke's story isn't just about loss, it's also about resilience. Against all odds, he returned to Hollywood in the 2000s, giving raw, unforgettable performances in films like The Wrestler, which earned him critical acclaim and reminded the world of his undeniable talent. His journey is both heartbreaking and inspiring, a cautionary tale about the price of vanity and fame, but also a testament to a man who refused to let Hollywood, or life's brutal blows, define his ending. Janice Dickinson, once hailed as the world's first supermodel, and later a reality TV sensation, has spent decades in the spotlight, and her ever-changing appearance has kept her name on everyone's lips. Plastic surgery didn't just shape her looks, it became part of her story, a transformation she never shied away from discussing. Today, at 70, the chiseled beauty of the 1980s has softened, but her charisma and fiery spirit remain untouched. In 2016, her world was shaken by a devastating breast cancer diagnosis. But true to her reputation as a fighter, Janice battled through and came out on the other side, stronger than ever. She pressed forward with new ventures, including the bold launch of the Janice Dickinson modeling agency, a living testament to her resilience and refusal to fade away. Yet, behind the glitz of runways and reality TV, her journey tells a deeper story. It's one of triumph and survival, but also of private scars and silent struggles. For Janice Dickinson, every transformation has carried both victory and loss. A reminder that even in the glittering world of fame, beauty comes at a price. Val Kilmer is more than just an actor, he's a Hollywood legend. From soaring as Iceman in Top Gun, to embodying Jim Morrison in The Doors, to stepping into the cape in Batman Forever, Kilmer carved out a career most could only dream of. But in 2015, his story took a heartbreaking turn. He was diagnosed with nasopharyngeal cancer, a disease that nearly stole his voice, his health, and his life. The treatments were brutal: 2 tracheostomy surgeries, endless rounds of chemotherapy, and years of unimaginable pain. Speaking, eating, even breathing became battles. Yet through it all, Kilmer refused to surrender. Against the odds, he fought back, and he won. His triumphant return came when he reprised his role as Iceman in Top Gun: Maverick, a moment that moved audiences worldwide. He even shared the screen with his daughter in the 2020 film Pay Dirt, proving his spirit was unbreakable. But behind the applause and the comebacks lies a story rarely told, a story of scars, both visible and hidden. His fight for survival forever changed him in ways the bright lights of Hollywood could never fully capture. What do you think about Kilmer's journey? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear them. And if this story inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching Exposed Hollywood, and until next time, stay tuned.